Holthe Express Entry Live Q&A. My apologies for the technical difficulties. Sometimes things don't always work out as you plan, but hey, we're getting ready for Christmas and I'm keeping a positive outlook. I'm super excited. I love this holiday season. And if it wasn't for the restrictions on audio, I would be playing some lovely Christmas music in the background. Oh my goodness, it's frustrating. But I am grateful to be back. I was away with my wife attending meetings in Nashville, Tennessee last week, so I missed all of you guys. And once again, because our feed here didn't work the way I wanted to, we basically had to restart this as a surprise launched video. So I know it'll take a little bit of time for people to connect in. So yes, so we'll be back in just a second. All right, so what I'd like you guys to do, as always, post where you're tuning in from. We've got Pagal who says hello, is watching over on Facebook. That's fantastic. Pagal, I am doing great. We're now getting people that are finally connecting in. Hassan over on Facebook as well. Hello to you. And Pagal is from, oh, Pagal's leaving me hanging here. We'll see, from Pakistan. Great. And hopefully this is connecting as well to YouTube, and we'll be able to pull comments in from YouTube. But my apologies, everyone. Sometimes we have technical glitches. Definitely not something that I anticipate. I'm Mark Holthe, Canadian immigration lawyer, ex-immigration officer, and former high school teacher. And this is what we do pretty much every single week, except last week when I'm away. Every morning, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, we talk about all things express entry. Now, I do let some other immigration questions slip in, and I know there's lots for us to talk about, but we'll see how we're doing here. I'm going to connect in on the YouTube channel, and let's see if we are running into the same issues we did before about the comments. So I know that there's some individuals. If I flip over here to our YouTube channel, you'll see that I've got a few people. The scheduled live, for whatever reason, is not working. So I tried to connect into the scheduled live, but it didn't work. And so we are recreating a new one, and it is this one right here that's live. It has the generic kind of banner image on it, but Igor is going to flip that out and put, I should say, a thumbnail image, but Igor is going to flip that out. So let's just see here. If I click into this one, we'll pause this and see. Okay, so once again, it looks like I am not seeing the comments once again from YouTube. And this is a problem that we experienced last time as well. So I've got the comments here, and yes, I am. I'll show Andy's comment here. Looks like we'll just have to do it old school, right? I think that's what we're gonna do. Now let's see if I have the ability to do this old school. I am not sure. It's been a while since since we've been, oh, let's see. I think I might be able to do something on the fly here. I have an idea. Okay, so what I'm gonna do for the comment section is I'm gonna just roll through the comments manually, as well as pulling up comments. So Facebook is connected here. Samrat says, hey, Samrat here from Niagara Falls. Hope the chills are good over at Lethbridge. It is freezing cold here, Samrat. It is so cold. And I don't even want to go outside, I'll be honest. I don't even want to go outside. Okay, let's see what we can do here. I'm going to use a little manual creativity is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to see on the fly if I can be creative. And I'm going to call this one my YouTube comments. This is really interesting because we haven't had problems like this for a while. I'm going to call this YouTube comments, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and see if I can, let's see here, see if I can expand my window here. I'm not sure if I can. Let's see, so that we just get the comments. Okay, now we're rolling. There's a way to do this, you guys. There's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right, so we're going to do this old school manual style. We're going to have two different kind of options for us. So we're going to do one here where we've got comments that I can pull in from Facebook, and even from here, we can pull the comments in from Facebook, which is how ironic, right? That Facebook works and that the other ones that I'm having trouble with YouTube, but I'm going to have to work on this to sort this one out, because Alicia and I, when we did our last live last week, I ran into the same problem with the YouTube comments not working for me, but that's okay. This is all about answering your questions, and so we will do it manual. So we've got Andy up there who says, greetings from Ottawa, Mark. Let's see if we can make these even bigger. I don't know if we can. Maybe we can. Oh yes. Okay, now we're rolling. Now we're rolling. Okay, so let's just see if we can get all of this connected. So we'll get up here to the top of the chat. So this chat is on the YouTube channel. All right, let's see what we've got here for comments and see if we can keep this rolling. All right, so we've got Andy at the top here. Thanks to you, I improved my score 445 to 496. Ali improved IELTS and finished the second year of experience, just waiting on CEC draw to happen. I'm glad I booked an appointment with you, Ali. That is fantastic. I'm gonna give you some applause, my friend. And we're gonna flip over here and we're gonna look at something. You guys have been wondering, haven't you? So if we look here, and lots of people are talking about it, and of course I was away, so I didn't have the opportunity to comment on it, but number 236, November 23rd was the last draw. And if we look historically at the previous rounds of invitations, and I know everyone's talking about this, you can see here, November 23rd, November 9th, every 2 weeks they did a no program specified draw, but what was missing last week? No draw. What are they gonna do? That's the question. So instead of me always going and expressing my views on everything, this time the question today, and we're going to have a couple different things, including a poll, but the question today for all of you is, why do you think IRCC did not do a round of invitation last week? Why do you think IRCC did not do a draw last week for December the 7th? Why? So I'm asking you. So I'm curious to see what your comments are as we jump in here and engage. Okay, let's see who else we've got here. We've got Jacob from BC. Good to see you. Andy says, what's the temperature? Well, do you know what? Let's see. Temperature in Lethbridge. The temperature right now, it says it's -2. Is it really only -2? Wow, it sure felt a whole lot. Well, there is sun outside, you guys. There is sun, so maybe -2 here in my hometown of Lethbridge. Yes, this is where I reside. It's only -2, not too bad. But you can see the temperature was pretty cold previous days, and it looks like it's going to drop through the weekend into a little bit colder. So, all right, let's close that out. Let's see what else we've got here. We've got Ibrahim, who's watching from Somalia. Good to see you. We've got Atome. Oh, Kate from New Brunswick. Welcome, Kate. Sriti says, long time, Mark. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing great, Sriti. And he says, here feels like -15. I know, it is super, super cold. We've got Ineza, who's over in Poland. Danielle, is there an easy way to come to Canada? Well, there is no easy way. Let's just put it that. And but one of the most important things, you guys, I want to share with you is when it comes to your journeys to Canada, one of the most important things that everybody has control over is their language ability. You have control over it. And so it's the one thing that you can work on to improve, to increase your chances, no matter what program you're going through. Language is important. So Holthe Immigration Law, who is the sponsor of this live Q&A. And what is Holthe Immigration Law? Holthe Immigration Law is our law firm. And I can't tell you how many people ask the question, Mark, do you guys represent people? The answer is yes, we do. And if you go to our firm, you will see we've now embedded our Google reviews in here. You can check out the experiences of some of our most recent clients. But there's a whole bunch of information right here on the website, the holthelaw.com website, that talks about us, talks about our fee structures, talks about our collaborative review model, which is really not just a review. This is us fully supporting you, immigration lawyer, direct to client, not any middle person. It's just us and you, and how can we do this? It's because of the virtual nature of our firm. It's because of the way that we've structured it that we're able to cut out the middle people that you normally have to deal with, and you get direct access to us. And who is us? It's the lawyers within the firm. And if you go up here to About Us on our website, you can click on our team. And as you look to our team, you'll get information on all of us, myself, Alicia, Chanel, and Cedric, and Igor is soon to join the ranks of the lawyers in the firm. So definitely check that out. Now, with that being said, back to the discussion of language. Language is super important, but sometimes the test, some people just struggle with tests. Maybe they have really good English, but they struggle on the exams. They struggle knowing exactly how to approach it. And there's a lot of strategy to those exams, the IELTS and the CELPIP, the TCF, the TEF, all those languages, those language testing organizations. There are strategies that can be employed to increase your chances of success. So what Holthe Immigration Law has decided to do is to connect with CELPIP. And I want to let everybody know, and there's a link in the description below, that we are going to be partnering with CELPIP to have a live webinar that's going to take place 6 days from today on December the 20th at 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And you can click on the link below in the description here of this live stream to register for it. If you've wondered, most people think, well, CELPIP, is that not just for Canada? Well, no, it's not. In fact, CELPIP now has testing locations in growing locations all over the world. And so in this live webinar, we're going to talk all about the language test itself. And there's going to be an opportunity for you to ask questions. And there's going to be some insight directly from a representative of CELPIP who is going to be sharing insight on the exam itself. So this is one you do not want to miss. So go down here. I know Igor's been publishing a lot on our Instagram account. So you definitely want to go check that out, but you can register for the webinar right here. And this webinar that we're doing, CELPIP webinar, is going to be something you definitely don't want to miss if you are working at trying to improve your language testing or your scores to give yourself a better chance of immigrating to Canada. So, all right, let's jump back and let's see what else we have going on here. Samrat over here, let's pull this off. Samrat says, Niagara Falls is colder now than Lethbridge. That's true. It's -6 and just waiting for the snow. Indeed. All right. Let's see what else we have here on Facebook. Okay, Hassan says, I see a lot of opportunity for my career, but the problem, I'm not in Canada to apply for the work. This is a great lead in, Hassan. So we're going to go back here to the question that I posed at the beginning. Why did they not do a round of invitation last week? So let's go back and look at some of the comments that people have been saying. So if we go through here, oh, look at this. Sumishni Universe is a member. A big shout out to Sumishni. Great to have you, a loyal fan and supporter. And if you're wondering, what the heck is that, Mark? Well, you can actually register. You can join our channel as a member and get priority notification for getting your questions answered. And I will be doing some member-only events coming here in January. So you can definitely connect in. Okay, you can see here, Barry Miles says, when is it going to be back the next Express Entry draw? Super worried about it. When are the chances with 182 points? 182 points, Barry Miles, is likely, boy, that's going to be really, really tough. Now, we know there was history. In the past, there was a draw 176 on February the 13th of 2021. There was this crazy draw that dropped all the way down to 75 points for people that are in Canada under CEC. Will that happen again? Well, I'm never, ever, ever going to say never, but likelihood is pretty low. Okay. Unique Promise says, I'm a student in Canada and recently wrote my final exam. Is it okay to include the qualifications in my profile with program completion letter, regardless of not having my convocation yet? If you have, so this is the issue. So when you're talking your qualifications in your profile, you need to make sure that you have the confirmation of graduation. The convocation doesn't actually have to take place as long as you have your transcript showing that you've completed all the requirements. And then when it comes to the degree or diploma, usually by the time you need it, once the ITAs come around, you should have it by that stage. So I don't anticipate there being a problem including it. Okay, Baldywood says, I forgot to attach my degree evaluation document by Wes in my peer application. Do I need to submit a web form to attach it? Okay, so the thing is, the degree evaluation document by Wes is not a specific requirement for express entry. In fact, no, it's not fatal, because all they ask for is your degree, and or your diploma, and I will include transcripts as well. When you complete your profile, you're going to obviously have entered into the information for the educational credential assessment. So in that case, you're going to be just fine. Okay, Shanaz says, hello, Mark, hope you're well. My spouse has applied by my visitor visa for me, and it's been more than 150, but I have not received my approval yet. When can I expect? That is the question of all questions. And I think many of you at this stage have been following the recent CBC article that's talking about many files being assigned to officers that are no longer active. So I'm not even going to, like, that's a separate talk all in and of itself. And I don't want to have that dominate our live Q&A, because I want to answer as many questions as possible. But my goodness, you guys, can you imagine? It's just so disappointing to think of IRCC not caring enough about your applications to even assign your file to an active officer. Like, there are huge, massive issues. And at this stage, IRCC, they've relied on the pandemic. They've relied on all of these other excuses, and they just need to get their acts together. This is gone far beyond. And to see that some people's lives are held in limbo just because of a carelessness by IRCC just breaks my heart. So Minister Fraser, my friend here, you need to do better. You need to step up. You need to figure this out. Millions of my and our fellow Canadian and permanent resident and foreign worker tax dollars have been applied for you guys to fix this. You've been throwing money at it left and right. It just needs to get dealt with. And I encourage the minister to act on that and really do more than just words, right? Okay, let's keep zipping through here. All right, next on our list here. Okay, Inesa says, I'm going to Montreal. Can you please clarify if 1 year work experience in Quebec can be used for express entry? Does it give extra points? Thanks. Inesa, yes, you can count your Canadian work experience in the province of Quebec. But remember, a pillar to the express entry process is that you can demonstrate an intention to reside outside the province of Quebec. That's the critical aspect. So if you're working and all your ties are in Montreal and you live in Montreal, it's going to be really difficult for you to demonstrate that you have an intention to reside outside the province of Quebec. Okay, when will the draw be? Today or until December 21st? What's your guess? Aaliyah, I'm going to hold off and I'm going to hear what you guys have to say. Mertuza says the global talent stream. Well, that's a fast track way for work permits to be issued by Canadian employers who are in areas, certain occupational categories that are set forth. So it allows them to expedite work permits. Now, once again, what is fast? Like the delays across the board, even the programs that are supposed to be fast are not terribly fast. So what is the real benefit of the global talent stream? Well, there's employer liaisons that work with employers, but it's really driven by employers. Lima, hello to you. Amongst us, hello, a past alumnus of the Canadian Immigration Institute. So welcome. Amongst us attended, I think it was the express entry, wasn't it, amongst us? Okay. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing all right. I'm doing great. Okay, Rupinder says, can I bring my wife if I've selected non-accompanying in my express entry and I'm waiting for an ITA? I'm a postgrad work permit holder. Please help me. I was planning for her to get her to Canada on a spouse visa. Rupinder, this is an exact reason why I direct you right back here and tell you to click on speak to a lawyer and book a consultation with us. Okay. And if you want to know the experience of other people, just click on our reviews and you can easily pull them up and see what some of our immediate past clients have had to say about the services they've received within the firm. So you can see whether or not the consultation is worth it. And you can choose from any of us here, but I recommend that you slide over and book a consult. Okay. And then we can talk about the logistics. Now, one thing I will, Rupinder, one of the things that I will point out to you is that when you're in Canada and you list a spouse as non-accompanying, you can change it before you get your ITA, because you say you're waiting for your ITA. You can change your profile and include her. But as you've probably been alerted to, there are 40 points that are what I call swing points that are going to be attributed to an accompanying spouse. And so if her English is low, if her education is low, those factors are 30 points alone if she doesn't have good scores there. And of course, she's not in Canada anyways, so you're losing, the potential additional points for Canadian work experience for the spouse. So those are all factors that you need to take into consideration when you're deciding whether or not to list your spouse as accompanying or not. But yeah, as far as the options that are available, one thing I want to point out too within our firm, if you go back to our firm website and you look at legal help, when your applications are refused, we can help you with judicial reviews, submitting a reconsideration request. If your applications are delayed, if you guys are one of those individuals whose file is locked away here, assigned to some unknown no-name officer that's not even working any longer, that quit working for IRCC back when it was CIC back in the early 2000s, well, the writ of mandamus here may very well be the route to go, and we can assist you with that. If we've gone through and you've booked a consult and we've looked at your situation and feel like there is grounds to do it, but go to our site, find out what happens in terms of mandamus. There is a test involved with it. Cedric has created this blog post to help you understand how it works. And then all you need to do is click on book a consultation and come right down here to Cedric and book a 25-minute consult with him, and he can help you with that process. So any type of reconsideration, rejected, delayed applications, you can see judicial review, mandamus, that's right in Cedric's wheelhouse. So definitely go check that out. All right. Okay. What do you think about Germany adopting a points-based for immigration, just like Canada? They're going to accept 400,000 foreign workers a year. Well, remember, 400,000 foreign workers is different than the points-based system for immigration. So amongst us, I don't know if that is leading then to transitioning to some form of permanent residence. And if that's the case, then great, because there's so many people out there looking to come to Canada that just are not able to because the scores are so very, very high. And even if we look at the ministerial instructions and we flip down here to the past scores, the lowest so far in the modern era has been 491 CRS points. That is virtually impossible to reach unless you have high French language ability or Canadian work experience or study or family in Canada. So trying to qualify on your human capital alone just isn't enough if you're trying to go through express entry in that regard. So yeah, that's a good thing. All right, let's slide back over here to Facebook and see what we have here. We'll pull up a few more from our Facebook world. Okay, let's see. Shazadbek says, Mahmoud says, excuse me, I work full-time on the first year, 1,560 hours, and 2 years part-time. I claim 3 years experience to get 50 points, or does it have to be 4,680 hours? Okay, so if you work full-time on the first year, 1,560 hours, and 2 years part-time, well, when I calculate part-time 2 more years, you're only that's only going to amount to 2 years. Okay, so ultimately, if you're working part-time over 2 years, that's going to equate to 1 year. 1 year plus 1 year looks to me like it's 2. But Shazadek, I recommend that you book a consult and we can sort that out directly. Okay, let's see what else we have here on YouTube. Having to be creative. Okay, they went on vacation, and this is the first answer. Andy says, as to why there were no rounds of invitations this past week. Okay, let's see. We're now at the stage where let's see who else has got some responses here. Noah says, do you think there'll be a draw today? I'm going to hold off until the end to let you know what I think on that. Aliyah says IRCC has achieved their target levels for 2022. We're getting warmer, guys. We're getting warmer. Mariana says, hey, Mark, joining from Toronto. Merry almost Christmas to all of you. Thank you so much. One quick question. Before the temporary policy that's now going where students are allowed to work over 20 weeks on campus, before the temporary policy that's now going where students are allowed to work. Okay, I'm not sure, Mariana, what the question is. Yeah, we did Okay, for basic information on this, remember that Alicia and we went through and had a blog post on this topic. And I'm just going to flip back here to our website once again. And if you go to our blog post, you'll see that there is a ton of information just constantly being updated. We've got this good news for family workers, that good, awesome news about open work permits coming in January. Study permits, what you need to know now, how to bring your parents, IRCC levels, immigration levels plan. So this updated video that I did here, I talk about some of the challenges that immigration is experiencing and the positive news for individuals. I'm just looking here to see. I know that Alicia and I did go through and talk about how convoluted in a previous video. If I blow this up and go back on a different page, I think it'll be too complicated to flip back and forth, but it is super, super convoluted. And Mariana, you have to be really careful. Anyone who is currently, you have to look at all the different specific rules, and I'm not going to go in through all of them because the program delivery instructions from IRCC are quite complex, but you have to make sure that you fit squarely into one of the categories that will allow you to work more than 20 hours off campus. And yeah, if you search back through the videos that Alicia and I did, I think it was either last week or the week before, I can't remember. I think it was our the live session with Alicia. We actually talked about this and went through some of the main headings. So you want to pay attention to that. Okay, Samir also, can we expect a draw? Among Seth says, do we need to apostille or legalize the gift deed or just notarize it? Fine. And do we need a witness to sign it with us? So the gift deed, always, I want it to comply with the formalities of the country in which it was done. So yeah, when it comes to apostilling or legalizing, typically notarization is sufficient. It's a sworn statement. It's a document. It's a deed that has to comply with the legal requirements of the country in which it was issued amongst us. So yeah, so in Canada, notarization is fine. And yes, absolutely. We also like to see that document is witnessed, but really it changes based on the country requirements in which it was done. Okay. I must confess, I'm happy with this program from Cameroon. That's great. Sharif's over in Qatar. Oh, let's see. We got a big jump here. Sharif's over in Qatar. Deepak says, I'm confused with the knock code for a job title as PSW. PSW, those who works in the home environment, comes under tier 4, but those PS who work in long-term care use 3413 tier 3 knock code or not. Okay, once again, Deepak, I recommend that you slide over to our site, click on speak to a lawyer, and book a consult with one of the lawyers, and we can actually go through that. I have a consult that I've got scheduled here this afternoon, or I think it's tomorrow morning, on this exact topic. Lima says no. Let's just push this back up here. Lima says no Boxing Day discounts. Well, I can tell you guys, actually, let's go here while we're on this. Let's pull up the Canadian Immigration Institute, and I want to point out something to you guys. This week I had scheduled originally to launch the study permit course, but we had to push off the masterclass until next Monday. So the study permit course is going to be, the masterclass is going to be launched on Monday, and the materials, I'm still just finishing up the last videos for that study permit course. The week that I took away with Deanna was a much needed week, and it set things back, but there's still an opportunity for you to connect in and to subscribe to the study permit masterclass. So that is, that's on the books. And then you'll see there, you can still access the spousal sponsorship course and the express entry masterclass. At this stage, no, I have not made a decision to offer a Boxing Day discount. That is because of the masterclasses, because of the value. It's not something typically that I do now in this modern era. And once again, shout out to Samashni. Okay, is it possible or allowed to apply for both Express Entry and Atlantic Immigration Program? If it is, do you think I should do it? If not, which one should I choose? You can go through and you can apply for more than one. You just can't have more than one sponsorship in the queue at the same time. So you can apply for multiple immigration programs if you like. As far as which one should you choose, Atome, it really comes down to your qualifications, and that is what we cover in, yes, our our consultation process. So keep flipping back to that one there. Okay. Excuse me, little sneeze. All right, next question. Rachel says, can you please elaborate on the recent advice that the principal work permit holder does not need to have a high skill job in order to extend their spouses, like in the post-grad work permit case? This is not yet law. So this comes down to, if I go back to our firm website, I'm just going to close a few things here. And if I go back here to our blog posts, you'll see that this blog, Good News for Family Members of Temporary Foreign Workers, Chanel drafted this. This goes into detail, and you can watch the YouTube video where I talk about this at length. But this talks about the implementation, and this is not going to affect until the new year, and they have not yet set a date. So for family members of existing skilled workers or high wage, however they want to describe them, those individuals in January sometime, they're going to have the ability to have family members, which include working age children, apply for open work permits. But this is a phased approach starting in January. And so you can see Chanel has broken that down. Family members of temporary foreign workers in high wage stream, then measures to extend it to the low wage stream following consultations. So we don't know for sure exactly what that means, but it's coming, but it's not there yet. So as of this stage, it still works. Okay. Sumashni says, do you have to pay the RPRF fee for my 9-year-old daughter? I didn't pay the fee up front, and now RCC is asking me for that payment. Well, I'm not sure. Did you apply through, Sumashni, did you apply through Express Entry? I'm assuming the right of permanent residence fee. And yes, you do have to pay that for children. Okay, you do. All right, looks like we've got a, let's see if we can jump down here to Mariana. So Mariana says, following up, how many hours per week were students able to work on campus before the policy kicked in? I worked 2 hours over a few times, but I was working on campus, which I thought was allowed. On campus, there's no restrictions. It's off campus where the restrictions existed, Mariana. And so on campus, there weren't the same restrictions as there were off. Okay. So, and yeah, that's typically the reality. And obviously you're going to indicate and disclose everything in your application. So, all right. Thank you. Great question. All right. Now let's see if we can go back here. Okay. Will be a draw today. We will see. Rose is asking the same question. Chances for 487. I think your chances are decent, Rose. We know that when we look at the previous rounds of invitations, 491 was where we were at. And if we just go back here to the actual previous draw, we know that people are piling in now. So the numbers that were at basically in this range of 491 to 500, there were 3,000 when that draw took place, which basically was very close to flushing all of them out. But we know that more people have piled in. Now, what we don't have a breakdown is 481 to 490. There's a lot of people at this range. And so we'll just have to see. We know that the minister is likely going to be doing more of these no program specified draws. We know that because he's indicated that the targeted draws, the occupation specific draws, the creativity that he's going to utilize as a result of Bill C-19 that gives him those magical powers, we know that that is not going to be implemented until the spring. So they're not going to shut things down and just not issue rounds of invitations until the spring. At least that's my belief. But yeah, I think you have a shot. I think you have a shot. Okay. All right. Let's take just a quick little break, and I want to share a couple things. If you see in the back, I want to give a shout out to my dear wife here. And I have right here, I think those of you who have been, who use Macs, you now realize that whenever you're doing videos or using your Teams or your Zoom or whatever, that now your Mac will automatically connect your camera and pull it in. So what I want to do now, if I can do this properly here, is I want to show you, this is my Christmas tree, my immigration Christmas tree that my wife did for me for Christmas, and I want to share it with you guys. So let's see if we can flip it over here to my camera. Here it is. Okay, and then I'm going to change my audio so that you guys can hear me. Let's see, what's the best? I'll put it on my, I think. Can you guys hear me here? Yeah, I think you can. Okay, so yes, this is Simba's place. This is where he sits here looking out the window. Okay, but I want to share this with you here. So you can see here that my dear wife has all kinds of ornaments that relate to Christmas. So you can see, and to Canada. So you can see here's the loon, a symbol of Canada, our loonie, right? We've got the Mountie Bear here. Good to see him. Of course, if we turn this around, we have the hockey sticks. You cannot have Canada without hockey stick ornaments. And if we go here, we've got a nice elk here. Could be a reindeer, but we're going to go with elk because that's what I love here, the wapiti. And then if we flip around here, of course, we've got the Canadian passport, which people are anxiously looking for an opportunity to get for themselves. Of course, the Canada flag. And then Team Canada Hockey, our World Junior Hockey Championships coming up. Excited about that, where we take on the world. And over here, we have, of course, skis. You cannot have Canada without skis. And a lovely moose here to round things out. So big shout out to my dear wife, who spent a lot of time creating this for me so that we could have our nice Christmas tree for the holidays. So thank you, Deanna. Here, let me adjust this a little bit better so it looks good. Awesome. So there we go, you guys. That is, and yes, the world definitely needs more Canada. Okay. All right. So I wanted to share that with you. Let's flip back the mic to the proper one. There we go. Now we're up and running. So that's kind of fun. A little bit of a change. Okay, let's continue on here. I want to make sure that I'm not missing any one. So this is right Sumashi. We've got that one. Okay, and I've got a bunch of questions that have been piling in here. So I want to make sure I don't miss them. We've got Mariana. There's no other super chats I'm missing. Good. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go up here. Okay, so next on our list, we'll flip it over. Okay. Anant says, hey, Mark, when I called IRCC a few days ago, I was told that eligibility is passed. So is it possible for IRC to pass eligibility in just 40 days post AOR? A date of AOR is October the 22nd. Medicals passed the 4th November. Bio done. Yes, it is entirely possible. You're well on your way. Okay, Jazz Preet says, any express entry draw or new program for healthcare workers? At this stage, we know that they're on the list. And those of you who have gone to the YouTube channel, let's see if I can duplicate this and see if I can pull it up here. Okay, let's stop this. And then I wonder if it'll adjust the whole thing. It might just. I was going to go in here and go back to the channel. Okay, so I know this is kind of blown up a little bit large, but if you go here, okay, this didn't work so good. But if you go to our videos, let's see, these are all recent ones that we've done. Let's see if I can find the topic of all topics here. And it looks like I'm not finding it. Let's see. Okay, let's go to all videos. I'm searching because I want to send you guys over here to watch this video that I created. This one right here. This is my insight on where the government's going to go with all of the changes in the new year. And one of the things that I talk about in this video, if you have not yet watched it, I encourage you to go over and watch it, is that when they're making selections, when the minister with his new powers starts to make selections or create groups of people that he's going to extend the invitations to, healthcare workers were definitely mentioned as being on the list. So we will see in the spring, but I cannot see any world where there is not some provision made for healthcare workers within the context of express entry or some other avenue that he chooses to do. Okay. All right. Deepak says, confused with the Knox. Once again, I recommend you book a consult, Deepak. Okay. Is there any way to improve my IELTS score? I'm not getting more than 5.5. I paid a lot of money to do it several times. Perfect. Okay. UAE Anthem official. This is where I'm pushing you right back here to this page. And there's a link below because on December the 20th, in partnership with CELPIP, which is the Canadian version of the language testing that's approved and accepted by IRCC, we are doing a webinar that you can register for, where you can get questions asked, where you can have a ton of information, strategic information on how the exam is set up and the things that you need to focus on, and it's designed to help you gain success. So this is with CELPIP itself, so I look forward to you guys coming and joining me. So if you haven't, click on the link below in the description of this, the live stream, and register. Alrighty, excellent. Okay, let's jump back here. When will be the next draw? If the draws are not happening, all these discussions are pointless. Well, Rose, that's pretty harsh. That's pretty harsh. They're not pointless, but everybody has their opinion, and draws will happen, of course, but they don't advertise when they're going to do what they're going to do. So unfortunately, we have to be patient. Okay. Elizabeth says, hope the draws are not happening because of the glitch in the system, which prevents points from spouse to be added to the express entry application. So we've got our theories. Let's tally our theories. Theory number 1, you guys, is that they've reached the cap. Theory number 2 is that there's a problem with the system and they couldn't do a draw because they have to fix the errors. Were there errors? Yes, there were tons of errors and glitches in the express entry portal and in the EAPR when you were completing it. When they rolled over to tier, it caused a ripple effect of problems. So those are 2 very distinct possibilities. Possibility 3, which people really are not talking about, is that the minister can do whatever he wants, and it may have nothing to do with quotas. It may have nothing to do with reaching caps, because remember, when it comes to caps, the invitations that they extend this year don't apply to this year's quota. It would be pretty much impossible to receive an ITA on December the 7th, have the whole application approved, and get your permanent residence landed and come to Canada before December 31st. So all of the ITAs are actually at this stage going to be used for next year. So are they completely full of all of the rounds of invitations for next year and all of the spaces within their annual levels plans? I don't think so. So that's a big factor, and the minister, we've had times where they have not done a draw every 2 weeks. Sometimes they've waited almost a month or longer to do a draw. So there's a lot of different factors at play. All right, let's jump back here. I got rejected from my open work permit because I did not establish my husband was an AOB category. I'm out of status. What should I do? Pour in me. You absolutely are going to go over here to our website and you're going to click on speak to a lawyer, and you are going to book a consult with one of the lawyers in the firm. Like I said, if you guys have questions about the experience, we do represent people. We are immigration lawyers. The consult is just the starting point. We routinely work, and if you look at our services, you can see for legal help, judicial reviews, reconsideration requests, applying for writs of mandamus. If you go to the to family, visit, work, study, business immigration, immigration generally, look at all of these services that we assist our clients in submitting applications. So all of this is in conjunction with the work that we do as immigration lawyers. So all of this, so go to our website and go check out all of the different avenues for immigration. And how do you initiate the process with our firm? It starts with a consult. That's why I direct people. And there's so many people that just are not aware. If you want to learn more about our approach, all you have to do is go to the approach page and look at this direct lawyer to client collaboration. So you're not working with a middle person who's representing you only through their assistant or their paralegal. This is direct lawyer to client collaboration. So go here, read this, watch the video that I did on this topic, look at the past comments from clients and the detailed explanation of how it works. So go check it out. We're different. We're not the same as most firms. All right. Okay, let's keep diving through. We've got a couple more questions. Let's see if we have any more from Facebook. I think we're probably capped out there on Facebook. Okay. All right. Is RNIP faster than PNP? Well, realistically, they go through the same process. RNIP was supposed to be faster, but well, okay, what do you say? If you go, you can look right now yourself and see what the processing times are. At least they're honest. I'll give IRCC at least that they're honest. So if you go through here and you go to economic immigration, select the category, you go to provincial, whoops, not caregivers, we'll go to provincial nominees, make your selection online, we'll say no, okay? And then we go here, you can see they're listing 22 months. If we go to other programs, you can see they don't have, we've got the Atlantic Immigration Pilot, CEC, self-employed, federal, startup visas. So the Atlantic Immigration Pilot is quite comparable to the rural northern immigration. So let's click on that one and see what they have for processing times, 12 months. So the rural northern immigration, although it's not on the list here, I would say it's going to fall more closely related to the Atlantic Immigration Pilot. And the biggest disgrace of all, you guys, is the caregivers. So home child care, how much work experience do you have when you applied, 24 months or more, you can see 28 months. And this here, it's based on all these factors, which basically means it's an eternity. Like it's brutal. And if we have less than 24 months, it's not even like, it's embarrassing. That's the only thing that I can say. It's just embarrassing. Varies by application. Oh, so much. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed, you guys. IRCC, Minister Fraser, like my friend, you need to do better. People are suffering. This is not a case of just, biding your time, Minister, waiting until you're transferred to a new portfolio like Mendocino, like Huson. Like you've got an ability to make real change and to be recognized as a minister that has done something other than just got in front of a mic and made a fancy announcement about the next greatest program that's coming in the future, right? We don't need that. We need fixes, real-time fixes right now. You've had millions of Canadian and permanent resident and foreign worker tax dollars that have been applied to your department. And you guys are so good at just throwing more money, billions of dollars to the refugee portfolio. Please, please focus, get those bright minds. When I was the national chair, I attended those meetings with department heads that were bright, intelligent individuals. You guys can figure this out. Do it. Figure it out. All right. Okay. There's the rant. Okay. Let's go to a couple more and then we're going to wrap up for today, guys. All right. Okay. Thanks for advice, but can I bring my non-accompanying spouse to Canada after ITA? Well, you can always apply, right? There's nothing stopping someone from applying for whatever work, if you are a foreign worker, a work permit, applying for a visitor visa, but all of these other issues like existing permanent resident applications, they all play a factor in whether or not it's going to get approved. Okay. Andy says, Mark, the 500,000 potential immigrants are already in Canada as international students and temporary foreign workers. Well, that may be the case, my friend, but the reality is not every one of these people are going to get through. And when it comes to the programs and not all of them, like it's going to be 2-3 years in advance before they all land. Okay. And the minister is still going to be selecting people based on occupation, based on work experience. The PNPs are going to be targeting people that have the skills that they need. And this is the big issue. And this is something that I talked about that very few people are talking about right now. This is what I talked about in this video. I talked about the fact that people need to be strategic in what they're studying, because how many people went through the program, took some business course, Andy, and now are working as a food service supervisor at McDonald's? You have to be strategic. You have to look at the industries that the minister specifically targeted. Did he target food service as one of those, critically areas of critical skill shortage? No. So individuals that have the skills that are going to be aligned with where the labor shortages are in Canada, whether they're inside Canada or outside Canada, are going to have opportunities. That's the whole design. So I don't care if we have 1 million people here, people that have come in looking for pathways to PR that don't have good enough language, that are working in positions that are just not in demand in Canada from the standpoint of shortages. How many international students work in food service, work in retail trade, those areas, right? And so many of them that don't have the experience, and their degrees are How many have gone through schools that are just garbage, where their education is really not valued by any Canadian employer because it's a goofy school, or they've chosen a program that's just, it's some liberal arts program that doesn't really help in terms of getting a job in the real world. So that's something that I always watch about, Andy. And sometimes people are too categorical in their statements about, we already have so many people and that's why nothing's going to happen. Well, that's simply not the case. The minister is going to become much more strategic, and that's where people even outside Canada will still have opportunities. Okay, is proof of funds required for FSW applicant that resides in Canada and has a full-time job? Only if that job is one that's considered to be a job offer for the purposes of the express entry system and the federal skilled worker. Okay, so that proof of funds, it's when it comes to the federal skilled worker program, the only way that it's exempt is if you fit within the parameters of what they consider to be a job offer. And Unique, you can book a consult. We can sort through that. Okay, yes, Andy, they're going for the occupation list selection. Yes, they are. Okay, I'm a PR candidate under FSW. I applied and received my AOR on September the 15th, but I'm still to receive my biometric instruction letter. It's already 3 months. What could be the problem? Are you assigned potentially to one of these discontinued user IDs for IRCC? Benedict, it is almost impossible to know. Okay, let's keep zipping through here. We'll get to a couple more, then we'll wrap it up. Please spill the beans and let us, what is IRC up to? Can't wait anymore. I understand that, Aaliyah. And there's a number of factors at play here, a number of factors. And I think the two competing theories, and I was waiting for people to say, because I didn't get a chance to jump on right when this notification happened, right when we saw the full day of Wednesday pass, December the 7th, and no draws. I didn't get a chance to go live because I was in Nashville. But I think the two competing theories are, one, yes, they do have, they're starting to get to the point where they have enough candidates in the pool. That's a possibility. I'm not going to rule it out. But I think in my mind, option two, that the glitches within Express Entry, they realized they needed to fix things and sort things out. I think that is a more accurate statement as to why the draws didn't happen last week. You guys saw what happened when we tried to do complete EAPRs and the work experience jumping back and forth, the spousal experience not being counted. So those are huge issues that needed to be addressed. So obviously they've struggled for the last number of years to figure out all the problems with the system. And so that's the one that I'm most likely, in my mind, is most likely the issue for why things aren't going to happen. And is there going to be a round of invitation today? I'm going to say yes. Why not? I'm going to say yes. All right. Okay, let's see. Jojo says, can you apply for FSW program once eligible if you rather not wait to apply for CEC? Also, if you're working in the country but don't have the required funds for FSW to show, can you still apply? You need the funds if you're outside of Canada. If you're not exempt from funds, you need to show them. The moment you have FSW, you can put your profile in. The moment you roll over to 1 year for CEC, then the system will prioritize CEC over FSW. So you can start with FSW, and then when you've got your CEC, the system will bump it up as the first option, and then that's how it works. Okay. Anitha says, hey, Mark, kudos to your wife. A fantastically unique Christmas tree. Yes, she is awesome. There's the Christmas tree, you guys, right over there. That's the one. Okay, let's see here. I'm just going to skim and make sure I don't have any more of the family connecting in here. That is the family that has joined the channel. I'm going to shrink down. I'm going to show you guys what that is. So on our YouTube channel, you can see right here at the top, you can click join. And when you click join, you can see all the benefits. It's like $3 a month. It's pretty small. You get loyalty badges next to your name, so you can see member, custom emoji to use in comments and live chats, member shoutouts, priority reply to comments. And so with that, I want to jump back here and I'm going to enlarge this back up again. Oh yeah, we're good. With that, I want to give a big shout out to Mariana, who's super chatted today. And another big shout out to Sumashni's Universe, who is joining us as a loyal fan. So thanks guys for joining us today. Another great live. We're going to wrap things up. It's 11:06. Time for me to get back to work. I got a couple more videos to complete for the study permit course. Those of you who are tuning in late, remember we have the CELPIP webinar with CELPIP, the English language test, and you'll be amazed at the locations where CELPIP is. And we're going to talk about that in the webinar. So register. It'll be at 1 p.m. Mountain Time on December the 20th. And all you have to do is click here, register, provide your email, and then you'll get the email notification. And when you click on, you fill the information in and register, then you will get the information that will allow you to connect in. All right. Okay. And what else do we have? The study permit course. If you have not yet had a chance to register for that, you can click on here, get access to it, and then the course material is going to be released shortly. The masterclass will start December 19th, starting at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, and it's going to be awesome. You can access all the materials for the spousal sponsorship course right now on demand, as well as the express entry course. And in the new year, I'm really excited to let you guys know that we are going to be starting some awesome community groups. So stay tuned for these, because we're going to be opening up a brand new way of delivering our content. And those who subscribe to the courses, so they purchase access to the courses, for then a small nominal amount will be able to get access to the master classes on an ongoing basis for a monthly subscription. You can come back and attend the master classes and get questions answered over and over and over again. In each cohort, each group, you can stay in if you need to be in. Also, I will be going live in this community group, having special, member only access to content, releasing things first in that community group. And so there's going to be a ton. So stay tuned for that. There'll be a lot more information. And then the last little piece that I want to share with you guys here is on our firm website. Many of you may have had questions that you couldn't get answered. You can always speak to a lawyer and book a consult. But remember, you guys, the consult is not the basis of our firm. Our firm is not designed just to answer your questions for a fee. Our firm is here to give you the most unbelievable experience when you are filing your application for immigration, for studying, for working through our lawyer to client direct collaboration. We work directly with you. You maintain control over your application. We fast track the process because we cut out the middle people. It saves on unnecessary immigration legal fees, and you can experience this innovative representative model, which we have been working on for and honing and developing and improving on for the last 3 years. It's hard to believe that, wow, this 3 years we've been doing this. Love it. Love it. So thanks so much, guys. Great to have you all here in this Express Entry Live. Join me tomorrow with Alicia. Holthe Immigration Law is the sponsor. So we're at your service. Take care, everybody.